The MMA world finds itself in a storm of uncertainty and anticipation. From Islam Makhachev's risky gamble to Arman Tsarukyan's desperate push for his long-awaited title shot. From Ilia Topuria's rise as both a champion and a showman to Khamzat Chimaev's long-questioned cardio, the fight game is on fire. Behind the scenes, legends like Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev are sharpening their blades for another war, while fan favorite Ben Askren fights a very different kind of battle.
These stories aren't isolated, they are threads weaving together.
The chaos, the tension, the drama that defines mixed martial arts at its core. At the center of it all stands Islam Makhachev, the lightweight king who has already carved out a legacy as one of the most dominant fighters in UFC history. But dominance at lightweight no longer seems enough. In a move that could either cement his status among the all-time greats or derail everything he's built, Makhachev eyeing welterweight, a division filled with monsters who've spent their careers mastering the heavier weight class. Chael Sonnen, never one to hold back his words, laid it out plainly. This is no safe move. This isn't a guaranteed legacy climb. It's a dangerous gamble. If Islam loses, what then? Does he cut back down to lightweight, where new blood like Ilia Topuria has already claimed the spotlight? Or does he resign himself to the brutal grind of climbing the welterweight ladder from scratch?
These aren't easy questions, and Sonnen
insists that Team Makhachev may not even be considering the possibility of failure. But failure is always lurking. This is fighting, as Sonnen warned. One slip, one miscalculation, one brutal knockout could undo years of dominance. On the other hand, if Makhachev pulls this off, if he manages to conquer at 170, the payoff would be extraordinary. A shot at champ glory, a mega fight with Topuria, and a place in history as one of the rare men to rule two kingdoms. This is the kind of gamble that can turn a fighter into a legend or a cautionary tale, while Makhachev stares down the barrel of uncertainty. Arman Tsarukyan waits in frustration. Officially, he's the #1 contender. Realistically, he's a fighter who hasn't seen the octagon in 473 days, sidelined, waiting and growing restless as opportunities pass him by. Not long ago, he was right on the edge of a title fight. Today, he's watching Ilia Topuria bask in the glory of championship gold while he sits on the sidelines. Ignored by the machine that is the UFC matchmaking wheel, Tsarukyan has made his frustration known. In interviews, he speaks with the fire of a man who believes he's been cheated, claims there's a 70% chance he fights Topuria next, but even he knows nothing in this sport is guaranteed. The UFC can do whatever they want, he admits. But if I keep winning, they won't have a choice. His logic is sound, but it doesn't change the reality that Topuria's eyes may be elsewhere. The Spanish champion has hinted at settling old beef with Paddy Pimblett. A fight that may not carry the same danger as facing Tsarukyan, but offers massive entertainment value and big ticket sales. Tsarukyan, to his credit, understands the business side of the fight game. Even admitted that if he were Topuria, he'd probably choose Paddy too. But that doesn't stop him from throwing his shots. Recently, he mocked Topuria on social media, calling him a budget version of Conor McGregor. Posting side-by-side comparisons that had fans buzzing. He may be frustrated, but he's not backing down. He knows that the louder he gets, the harder it will be for UFC to ignore him. Meanwhile, Topuria seems unfazed. In Spain, he's living like a rock star, performing his walkout song live on stage in front of thousands, soaking up the spotlight. Enjoying the fame that comes with being champion, while Arman fumes, Topuria parties, and the fans are left wondering when will the UFC finally book the fight that feels inevitable. But the drama doesn't end there. UFC 319 looms large, headlined by middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis defending against Khamzat Chimaev. For years, Chimaev has been touted as the next big thing. A terrifying force of nature who smashes through opponents with relentless chaos. But there's always been one nagging question hanging over him. Can he last? We've seen it before: explosive first rounds followed by a noticeable drop-off in rounds 2 and 3. Against Gilbert Burns, against Kamaru Usman, the same story unfolded. A storm in the first round, a struggle in the later minutes. Now, facing a 5-round title fight for the first time. That question has become a thundercloud hanging over his head. To address it, Chimaev has brought in performance coach Sam Calavita, a man with a background so unique it sounds like fiction. Calavita once worked for NASA, and now he's applying that same scientific precision to building fighters into endurance machines. With heart rate monitors strapped to his chest and carefully calibrated training sessions, Chimaev is learning to pace himself, to channel his wild energy into controlled violence rather than allowed chaos. Tsarukyan, who has trained alongside him, even advised him to stop overtraining, to save his body for the moments that truly matter. If this new version of Chimaev can manage his gas tank, UFC 319 could be the night he finally ascends to championship status. But Duplessis is no easy puzzle. Awkward, resilient, and tireless, the South African champion thrives in chaos. If the fight goes deep, he'll be there, pushing, pressuring, making Chimaev dig into reserves he's never accessed before. This isn't just a fight, it's a test of will, endurance, and evolution. Elsewhere, Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev prepare for their inevitable collision. Their training footage has surfaced, and fans are dissecting every frame. Pereira, known for his striking brilliance, looks sharper and hungrier than ever. Determined to erase the memory of his shortcomings in their last encounter, Ankalaev, on the other hand, doubles down on his grappling, the weapon he believes can neutralize Pereira's devastating power. Both men know what's at stake. The rematch looms like a storm cloud, and anticipation grows by the day. And then there is Ben Askren, once a polarizing figure in MMA, now fighting a battle far removed from the cage. Hospitalized, recovering, and working tirelessly to regain his strength, Askren shares updates with his fans. His progress is slow but steady. A lap around the hospital may seem small, almost pathetic in his own words, but for him, it's everything. Fans rally behind him, cheering for every step he takes, reminding us all that fighting isn't always about punches and kicks. Sometimes, it's about the quiet, painful struggle of getting back up when life knocks you down. This is the fight world right now. A chessboard of shifting pieces where champions and contenders, legends and prospects rise and fall in real time. Makhachev risks it all for greatness. Tsarukyan battles invisibility with his voice. Topuria dances between fame and responsibility. Chimaev prepares to answer the question that has haunted him for years. Pereira and Ankalaev sharpen their weapons for war, and Askren walks one painful step at a time, reminding us of the humanity that underlies this brutal sport. The MMA world is buzzing, fans are speculating, and the future feels more uncertain than ever. But that's the beauty of this game. Nothing is guaranteed. One punch, one kick, one moment can rewrite the story entirely.